Students seeing social media as a platform to socialize and to make friends and relationships. With this kind of habit, do we still limit ourselves on using? Can we avoid some useful behaviors that can be resolved here? Media remains a tool which renders any help to people across the globe to influence their opinion, attitude, and knowledge. As the use of media increases, many people, including youths, use it to find out about the historical development of society, concepts, religion, etc. Social media is a platform of effort for people, especially students, to get to move close to each other on the internet or social contacts by making connections through individuals.
Sa milyong-milyong Pilipinong social media users, hindi na nakapagtatakang bansagan ng Pilipinas bilang social media capital ng mundo. Malaki nga raw ang impluwensya ng social media dahil dito kumukuha ng impormasyon ang maraming Pilipino. Sa lawak ng popularidad ng social media, ginagamit na rin ito ng ilang kandidato para maabot ang mga botante tuwing eleksyon. Pero ang malawak na paggamit ng internet naging dahilan din ng pagdami ng fake news at disinformation online. Dahil sa nakababahalang paglaganap ng fake news, minsan ang tinawag na Patient Zero ang Pilipinas sa global misinformation pandemic. Ibig sabihin, sa Pilipinas unang nakita o naranasan ang disinformation operation sa mundo.
As far as it developed, we can view that social media is the social interaction among people who create, share, and exchange information and ideas in environments, schools, workplaces, homes, communities, and etc. According to the Global Web Index, on average individual spends 2.5 hours per day scrolling through their social media accounts. The purpose of social media, regardless of distance, facilitates people to communicate and convey information in form of images, videos, and audio. Social behavior is a part of human psychology against unacceptable behaviors, and it must be managed in using it. It centers on the attitude, perception, reaction, and disposition of an individual to others around him.
There are cases globally that overusage of social media can be one of the factors of having anger, stress, and some unusual behavior of students. We understand that true information can be difficult to find, but it is most likely to be found on most national and local news profiles. But this study believes that there's no pressure on finding the reliable information you need.
Malaking tulong ang mga gadget at internet sa pag-aaral ng mga kabataan, pero may kaakibat din daw itong peligro kung hindi tama ang paggamit. Kaugnay niyan, sinusulong ang isang panukalan na layong protektahan ng mga bata sa masamang epekto ng social media. Darito yung special report ni James Agustin.
Madalas na hawak ng 9 na taong gulang na si Jepoy, hindi niya tunay na pangalan ang kanyang tablet. Ginagamit niya ito sa kanyang online classes maging sa pag-asa sa social media. Hanggang sa may mapansin na ang lola ng bata.
Minsan nakakalimutan niya na lang kumain. Pag inaalok namin na kumain, busog pa daw siya. Tapos siguro kahit naiihi siya, pinipigilan niya.
In this news, some students neglect their health due to excessive use of social media. The influence of social media can lead to social change and behavior of students. Social media has given thousands, if not students, a voice and the ability to spread information that they believe is relevant and important. Common misconception today is that fact-checking is often opinion-based, even though the term implies that it is about checking facts. False information can erode trust in the media, making it more difficult to distinguish between fact and fiction in the future. When we begin to believe that anything can be fake, it becomes easier to dismiss what is true. Psychosocial behavior is seen as the response or reaction of how an individual behaves and develop his or her relationship in the school environment or anywhere the person found him or herself as a result of the use of mobile phones, iPad, tablets, laptops, and other internet services. The connectivism between spare times spent on the internet showed tremendous impact that the time spent on internet has affected students' interpersonal, academic, psychological, and physical factors. Also, it recommended that the use of internet may perhaps be used in enhancing academic performance among students. In having an academic problem, we should learn how to ask to some professionals. With this kind of mindset, we can less the pressure that you are holding and the struggles you're experiencing in finding information, some academic related information. However, with this study, fact-checking does not imply rejecting all data that contradicts your argument and only supporting those that agree. It is all too common in social media for someone to use a single source to make or support an argument while ignoring all other facts. This, in turn, contributes to the spread of misinformation. This kind of approach can be probing and delving that also helps students to clarify their thinking, surface their reasoning, and explore alternative perspective or solutions. A probing question makes a student think more deeply about the topic at hand, thereby engaging in more cognitively rigorous instructions. With this also, you can spread some good and fact information to our society, especially in social media.
The study found its answer that students are having a hard time to ask questions but having a free time to share information. This problem of false information has underscored the importance of stimulating critical thinking skills in the academic settings. Students should be trained in these competencies, which will be useful to them in their schooling as well as in their later works and lives. It shows students' excessive use of social media and leads them to become irresponsible in finding reliable information. Flows from the old and new media that make fact-checking difficult. In having an academic problem, we should learn how to ask some professionals. With this kind of mindset, we can lessen the pressure that you are holding and the struggles you are experiencing in finding some academic-related information. Although if students are spending more time in their social media than their studies, it's reasonable to say that their grades will fall. Combine the lack of effort with an ability to focus and you have a perfect storm of procrastination. Social media are very useful as a resource of students in gathering information, although we can prove that it is reliable. But this study believes that still there are a lot of primary sources to use, and with this can help students academic to number 1, develop their academic skills, number 2, to prevent anxiety or any unusual behavior in using social media, and the last one and the number 3 is to make society as a sociable environment.
Emotions are always valid. There is some circumstances emotion can't handle over pressure and stress because of overload of information. It is says the more you use, the more you struggle if you don't use it responsibly. Evidence that an emotion regulation intervention helps students correctly discern the truth, although we did find some limited evidence that emotion might help against false information concordant. Number of hours can be matter to affect students' behavior. Psychologists contribute this intermittent reinforcement, a conditioning schedule in which reward or punishment does not happen every time a desirable behavior occurs. Since we are in a developing country, we are having developed way of texting each other or chatting. This develop of communicating answers that individuals who are involved in social media, games, texts, mobile phones, etc., are more likely to experience depression, anxiety, or any unusual social behaviors. These statements are one of the causes, reason why number of hours matters that can affect emotional, either social behavior of students.
Many social media posts are looking for support, whereas reposting aims to spread messages via the multiplicative effect. Consequently, this study's purpose is to address the research problem and gap which suggests that social media platform providers are doing little in tackling the spread and cascading of misinformation on social media. Society on its impact of social media, specifically on political affairs, has been attracting more interest as social media platforms, notably Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, enable the broad sharing of information and news. In providing information, another main purpose of social media is to enable people to engage in social interaction, communication, and entertainment. The effects of misinformation answers that it can cut across society. For example, the spread of misinformation on social media determines how governments, organizations, and people respond to events in society. The majority of misinformation is targeted at a specific sample of the population to promote a certain ideology by stimulating strong beliefs and polarizing society. Lack of attention was the driving factor of misinformation sharing among students either in society. It is one of the factors that led students to fail to distinguish between true and false news content, but rather simply old lazy thinking. Students fall for misinformation when they rely on their intuitions and emotions, and therefore don't think enough about what they are reading, a problem that is likely exacerbated on social media, where students scroll quickly, are distracted by a deluge of information, and encounter news mixed in with emotionally engaging baby photos, cat videos, and the like.
This kind of approach can be probing and delving that also helps students to clarify their thinking, surface their reasoning, and explore alternative perspective or solutions. A probing question makes a student think more deeply about the topic at hand, thereby engaging in more cognitively rigorous instructions. With this also, you can spread some good and fact information to our society, especially in social media.
We should stop spreading rumors and sharing insulting opinions about other people, and we can begin genuine conversation about topics such as mental health. This is our time to make great difference in the world. We have incredible technology surrounding us that we can use to create that great difference. It is important that we use this technology in positive ways, and the best place to start this movement is through social media.
Affiliated studies have set up misinformation and true information dispersion in social media. On the other hand, we also need to give a reference for the public opinion operation of misinformation. This means that when thinking about the rise of misinformation online, the issue is not so much a shift in people's attitudes about truth, but rather a more subtle shift in attention to truth. There's a big disconnect between what people believe and what they share. With the help of the distribution of motives and feelings of misinformation on social media, we also have a deeper understanding of the propagation rules of misinformation on social media. As a future educator, we should let our future students know how to handle information wisely.